Welcome to this course on creating an e-commerce site from scratch using PHP and Bootstrap framework. Here's our first module. In lesson 1, we'll take a look at the introduction of this course and then the course agenda. So this is a crash course that demonstrates creating an e-commerce site using Bootstrap framework, including creating backend database using PHPMyAdmin. We'll be creating products and configuring site functionality in order to create a fully functional e-commerce site. And I'll demonstrate CSS, PHP, and SQL, all of these languages right from scratch using our simple editor in creating this e-commerce site. Module 2 is downloading the essential software. 2 lessons in this module. First, I'll demonstrate how to download the XAMPP server and create our own personal web server so we can test the functionality of our site. And lesson 2 is I'll demonstrate how to download the editor, which in this case is Atom. And both of these are open source software, and I'll show you how to go about downloading them and configuring them before we actually start writing our code. Module 3 is programming from scratch. 4 lessons in this module. Lesson 1 is creating the top navigation bar of our website. Lesson 2 is working with drop-down menus. Lesson 3 is inserting background images as well as product images. And lesson 4 is working with our cascading style sheets. So primarily from scratch using our editor, I'm going to demonstrate how to in fact create our basic website and the structure of our e-commerce site. And keep in mind that I'm going to demonstrate using code. So the goal and the objective is to show you the basics of creating this e-commerce site. Obviously, once you have the site created, you can then later tweak it, add to the functionality of the site, such as add additional colors, more images, background images, and whatnot. But once you have the fundamentals down, it's easy to add to your existing code. Module 4 is working with products. I've put 3 lessons in this module. Lesson 1 is creating featured products. Lesson 2 is inserting those products. And lesson 3 is configuring products functionality. So this module covers the essence of working with products, how to insert your products within your site, how to add products, how to create images, how to use images, and so on. Then in module 5, we'll get into working with database. So we'll use PHPMyAdmin, which is our SQL basically in the cloud. 3 lessons in this module. Lesson 1 is creating database in PHPMyAdmin, and I'll demonstrate how to configure the database, how to create the database, and how to insert our products into the database. Lesson 2 is creating tables within our database, and lesson 3 is linking products with our database. So the objective here essentially is, once we have the products on our site, how do we actually link them to the database? What happens when we update the database? What happens to our products? So I'll demonstrate the fundamentals and the workings of how that is done. And module 6 is our conclusion. Only 1 lesson. I'm going to recap in this module the entire course from scratch to finish. So by this time, we should have a fully functional e-commerce site. In other words, we'll have a basic site. We'll have some products in there. We would have configured the product's functionality and linked our products with the backend database. This entire course is based on hands-on tutorials. So I'm going to be using the editor and just simply writing code and then explaining the code itself. And once again, the idea and the goal is for you to understand not only the coding mechanism, but also the fundamental structure of what goes into creating an e-commerce site from scratch. So without further ado, let's get started and let's move to our first lesson.